Hello, everyone. This is Sabrina Young with the Young's Daughters Funeral Home and Bereavement Center. This video is highlighting our partnership with Vintage Carriage, and I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Tristine. This is my husband, George. This is Ivor, and he's on Perry.
Aww.
That's Perry Dawn right there. Yeah. All right. You don't have to eat me.
Very sweet.
This is just one of a pair of our team horses that we do for funerals.
Yeah.
And other stuff. His
teammate is over there. So that's Woodrow. And then we'll walk you through the barn, and then we'll show you everybody that's in the barn. Not everybody's in the barn, but I'll show you who's in the barn.
This is 19 hands and about 2,400 pounds.
Wow.
So realize I'm very tall. I'm 6'2".
Wow.
So I make everything look normal sized. Okay. So
I'm 5'10", so
he's 5'10", and my son up there, he's about 5'2".
Oh wow.
And that gives you kind of an idea of how big these guys are. So I'm trying to.
Well, I wouldn't even make it to his kneecap then.
Yeah, they're biggins. So just trying to give you an idea. All right. Yeah, we can go sit down. Hold on, we're gonna go sit down real quick. We just wanted to show you him right off.
Oh yeah, he's beautiful.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera around,
okay,
and that way you can kind of see. All right, so we have Woodrow here, and then this is Rough. He's still Rough. That's Rough.
Oh.
Sweet man.
Kelly Belly.
This is Kelly right here. Let me slow down. This is Kelly. This is Andy.
Beautiful.
Sweet baby. And this is Buck. These are our little guys. They're about 17 hands. They're still really big compared to regular horses, but to us they're small. And then that's Crusher. That's our dog.
Oh, that's sweet.
And this is Belle. We're still working on this stall. All the stalls will be like this. We just do one at a time when we have money. And so, and this is Buck. Sam. We just did Buck. And so that's Sam. Okay, so that's a little tour of our barn. And here, get over here.
Thank you for sharing. I love seeing on your website the stories of each one of the horses and their pairs. You have an amazing outline there, and I love seeing the Rough and Tough and how they were named. And so kudos to your son.
Oh yeah.
For that.
So you've seen all the horses.
Beautiful.
Online. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, thanks.
If you hadn't seen online, this is gonna be it.
Okay, and so here's another little thing. We were in the Dallas Morning News. Edit. I don't know if you can see it, but
yes.
Article that was done a while ago.
2008.
About us, and that kind of tells us kind of who we are and what we've been doing. And we buried all the police officers for free that have fallen for the past 17 years. So here's us on the Dallas Morning News on the front of the newspaper there at the National Cemetery.
Beautiful tribute.
And then this was in Rouge. Here, Deputy Gary.
Oh, we're kind of losing you a little bit.
Oh, you're losing. Okay, hold on. Let's go outside. We're going to go outside. We're going to go outside. It'll have better service.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah, it should be better out here. Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we showed that. I can send you some brochures. So we have a trifold brochure for our funerals.
And that helps us
So
to show
I'll
and
send you
highlight
some
your
of those if
business.
you'd like.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, because that helps us
Okay.
highlight your business. So
Okay.
really, how did you get into, what drove you to serve the funeral industry? How did you get that passion?
Okay, so how we got started. So you might want to start this. You might want to do the how we started.
My ex-wife at the time, at Laurel Land in Dallas, she was the head designer at the flower shop there, and her boss was from Louisiana, from New Orleans, and he kept wanting to have a coach. And her and I subsequently had come into some money because we sold some land to the state, and together we kind of put the one coach and two black horses together, and it just kind of rolled from there. Now we have, her and I have split over the years. She went into her own flower shop, and it got to be too busy to even come to do anything with us. And with that, then my wife and I, who have been together for 15 years, we've just kept growing the company and growing the company and growing the company. We've actually got 11 coaches of all kinds of different kind of stuff.
I've sent her a list.
But we do have 2 hearses now, and looks like, I think in June we're going to end up with a new white hearse that'll go with white horses and that. So, and right now we're set up to where we could actually pull off 3 funerals in one given day and not be in the same state.
Wow, well, fantastic. You guys are certainly the pioneers in the horse-drawn carriage, especially in our Central Texas area. You've come highly recommended. I've seen your brochures, and so kudos to you for making your mark in our death space.
One thing that I decided on at the very start, I could have gone with Black Morgans, which would have been little bitty horses. And when I got to see these big Percherons, I decided it had to be all about the flash, and that's what we're all about. The black horse you've seen right there, each one of them is about $15,000 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah, no, we don't play when it comes to the flash. If you want to hire something that just kind of gets the job done, but if you really want to see something that's worthwhile, spend the money and use us. I guarantee you'll be well impressed. You'll have people that will. We've stopped traffic with our horses just to see them. That's it.
Oh, that's sweet. Can you re-angle the camera just a little bit? We have fingerprints covering the camera.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Your finger was over the camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're doing that.
I'm sorry.
Fantastic. I love that your first passion was the horses. I love that you came from the passion of the horses. And then, the second passion was serving the people and just being connected, and the beautiful show. I see that you have a lot of pride in your horses and a lot with your carriages. So how did you acquire your first carriage?
How did we acquire the first carriage?
I went to Michigan and had it, and actually bought it straight out at the company that built it.
Brand new. It's brand new. All our hearses are new.
Wow.
So it is on max volume.
The antiques just don't work. We travel too much, and the roadworthy riding in a trailer all the time is what shakes the old antiques apart. They just can't do it. Everything of ours has got some kind of steel construction under the bottom of it to hold it together. So,
and plus they can't do oversized caskets.
Yeah, they can't do oversized caskets like we can. Matter of fact, the one hearse we have, it can do a width casket, but the length casket can't be done. The other hearse we have, it can do a length casket too. We buried Wayman Teasdale in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he was 6'10".
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So it
was tight. But it
was tight. So we've worked at making sure that in the funeral business that we fit everything we need to do that,
So I seen that, you mentioned about police officers. Can you highlight again what you do for police officers, and then what you do for the veterans?
Okay, so for police officers, we've buried we offer our services to fallen police officers, and
For
then
free.
for free. And so
if they're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
yeah, it needs to be in the kind of where we're at. Otherwise, it costs us too much money, because if it's like an overnight, then we have to pay somebody to come take care of our farm and all that type of stuff.
Here's what happened in Baton Rouge. The big horse you see, Perry, is a friend of ours who is a sheriff deputy out of Shreveport, out of Bossier City. So the Bossier Sheriff's Department paid for us to go do the Baton Rouge policeman's deal.
Yeah.
They paid us to go down to take care of what our normal fees would be to go down there. And then they also set us up in a place to stay, in a stable and everything.
So I mean, that's what happens if it's far away. But if it's near here, we do it for free. And so we just we call the police department, we offer our services. Actually, there was a thing here.
From the Dallas Police Department.
Yeah, this was from David Kunkel. And so I'm just going to turn this around. So this is from David Kunkel thanking us. And we've done a lot of funerals, unfortunately, when Kunkel was chief. But, it is what it is. And so we do, if it's close by, we offer for free. If it's far away, then we, ask for, something to kind of cover our costs. Now for veterans, what we do is if it's at the National Cemetery, we have it as a discounted cost. Yeah. We used to do, years and years ago, we did veterans for free too. But it got too much. Sure. We just couldn't afford to keep doing it.
Especially with the Iraq War going on, it was just way too much.
Yeah, the Gulf War, it was really hard. Like we were doing like 5 a week, and it was too much. We just couldn't.
The Central Texas and the Temple area, when you come to Temple, is it going to be, what does your fees look like for the Central Texas area?
So for Temple, how much? I'm sorry, I keep putting my ear to it. I'm just trying to hear.
Seem like fee is like $1,200. No, maybe not that much.
Yeah, we should have looked that up.
Okay, well,
I think it's around $1,200 for us to come down to you.
Okay. So once
it's on mileage.
Okay. Well, once you get those figures, we can certainly post them and let our families know, and anybody know about your services. We'd be happy to, pass along the word if that's what they're interested in.
Yeah, definitely.
So
those figures won't change very, very much unless you ask for something extra special or something else. Once we I'm actually from Killeen originally, and I can give you the price from Killeen, Temple, and Belton for all those different things, and whatever that price is, that's what it'll stay for. Shoot, I don't know. Some of our prices haven't changed in 7 years, 7, 8 years. So.
Yeah.
That's reassuring that you're still in business, that you're still desired and more highly sought after. Now, we'll definitely spread the word to our PD and the fire department locally. Our funeral center is going to be unique in the way that we're highlighting all of our partnerships, letting families know that this is how we make funeral partnerships to make their funerals memorable for them. So I appreciate you guys giving us the tour, and if there's anything that we can do for y'all, just definitely reach out to me. Hopefully with our grand opening, we would love to highlight some of your horses and carriages to show. So if that's something you'd be interested in, we'd love to have you come and visit and see the grand opening.
Yeah, just let us know when that is. I looked at your Facebook page and I saw that you're opening up and you're putting foundation down and the whole 9 yards. Woo!
It's hard, and especially
undertaking.
In COVID time right now, it is hard because many people are getting scared to work, and we're saying, hey, no, you're essential. We need you. So we're fortunate for the community to come forward. We want to show them how we're going to be able to serve them, and so it should be a lot of fun. I'm first generation funeral director in my family.
Oh wow!
So
that's awesome.
Just to give you a word of advice,
yep.
This is just from us. Always be willing to make a change in who you are and change which direction you got to go, but stay in the same direction. we've added on, we've changed directions. We've had to go from, when we first started, I had a deal with Laurelland, and I was doing 5 to 7 funerals a day at Laurelland. We were their inside coach at the cemetery, and they didn't have to use an outside coach to go into the cemetery. And once they sold the franchise off, that next set of directors didn't want us to be there, so that we had to make a huge change in what we were doing, and always find some other direction to go to. And that's what we're even with the covert thing right now, we've working with funeral directors to try to make it still work for everybody, and they still get their coach. It's kind of hard for us to not let that happen. And I've run up on a funeral director that we've been working with for years, and he come up with a great idea just up in front, is that at the church, it's just family, and at the cemetery, it's all the rest of the people, and they have a pass-by under the tent right there, and everybody then gets to come, and everybody's separated and everything. It worked. We've done 2 of them now, and it worked fantastic. The thing about it is that with us, everybody at the cemetery already, we come into the cemetery and everybody gets to see the coach stand. Lots of times we do stuff where we trade off and all they see is the back of the coach and back of my head and 2 horses' feet underneath, going.
Yeah.
So it works out really good. So just, you always think about being willing to change what you've been doing. You may have to change something to make yourself actually better and make people keep looking at you.
And I wanted to know why. A lot of funeral homes, it depends on the funeral home, but what made you think about using a horse-drawn hearse? Because some funeral homes don't want to deal with it because it's an extra layer of hassle, sometimes to some funeral directors. So I wanted to know what your thought was on it.
I agree. That is 110% correct, because in every funeral home that I worked at or worked with, they said, no, we're not offering that extra stuff. It's too much. We're very simple. We don't want any of that stuff. And when I saw all of the other things that the death care space offers, I said, why not? Why not offer these things? So as long as the partnerships are easy and very transparent for everybody that's involved, then I think we should be able to offer anything, from sending a loved one to outer space to, whatever the desire is, funeral coaches and motorcycle ones and horse-drawn ones. I even have dolphin ones. Yeah, there's a dolphin.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, so we're really excited to highlight everybody that has a death or has something to offer for the death care industry. And whether that's grieving partnerships, bereavement classes, or building something, how people cope, everybody gives back in a very specific way. And I think that story is very valuable. So I don't want to not share those stories with people. I want to be able to offer all of these because, there's a reason why y'all wanted to do it and you feel that it's important. And I think other people that are connected to horses or always wanted that vintage look, or that's what life is. That's what honoring that last moment is. That's what that good wow funeral should be. It should be memorable. It should be something to help in transition. And I think these little things make that a wow funeral.
I totally agree with you.
What we tell everybody that are thinking about using this, you won't remember what color flowers were there, but you'll remember these horses. Guarantee it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, and that's what we try to do, is try to tell people, it's all about that memory. So you're just making memories with your family, your last memory of that, the person who died. And we just do whatever we can to honor that and to make that make the transition as easy and as pleasant as it possibly can be, even though it can be very unpleasant. Yep. But there still can be elements of beauty in it. And so that's what we try to do, is just to bring another element of beauty into that. And so I think it's important, and I think people need more beauty in their lives.
So how do you store the carriages? Are they out in the sun? Are they in barns?
No, We were just thinking about that because our one carriage, the one hearse is in a container and it's got a tarp on it. So it's, you know, like those big steel shipping containers.
Right.
And so it's in that. And then our other hearse, we have a special trailer made for it. And so it's in a special trailer. But we'd have to like hook up the trailer to a truck and pull it out and winch it out to shoot. But it's the same hearse that you see in the pictures on our website. But no, they're not in the sun. They're in impeccable condition. I mean, our horses are always freshly washed before we show up. The hooves are in good shape. Our carriage, I mean, every time we hook up to it, we wipe it down. It's wiped down with Pledge. It's super shiny, clean. I mean, we just try to look as sharp as possible.
So
you know,
is Pledge hard to come by right now in your area to
no,
with cleaning products?
I don't think so. Is Pledge hard to come by?
No,
So.
not Pledge, but
Maybe Lysol.
Lysol would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over here,
no,
we can't find any cleaning products hardly at all. So you're having to make your own. Yeah.
Go to the Little Town Family Dollars.
Family Dollar stores.
I'm telling you, we have found everything that we need in like the Little Town Family Dollars. They've got stuff. Like I couldn't get toilet paper in the very beginning.
Oh, okay.
And I was panicking. I was like, George, we only have one roll. Go to the Family Dollar because we live in a little town. We got a Family Dollar in town. And he was like, nope, got some. We're good. So go to the Family Dollar. And the one thing I did mention in the email was our shoes. And so we didn't show her the shoes on the horses. Let me show you the shoes on how they what we do. And just know it's an extra layer of cost, but I think it's very important. First of all, it's very beneficial for the horses, their joints, and all this type of stuff, because it gives it an extra, we have them here, an extra addition of cush, and it's like tennis shoes for horses, and it doesn't tear up the asphalt. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it next to my face. So this is, okay, so they get a regular steel shoe. Let me start here. So this is a regular steel shoe that gets nailed onto the hoof. All right, and then trying to do this. This is hard. Okay, so there's like these little, we tap these holes. I don't know, can you see that? There's a hole here, and then there's at the bottoms, like where my pinky. Right here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is where this shoe gets bolted on.
Right here, these 3 big holes.
And so those get bolted on to the steel shoe, and you can see how thick it is. And it's rubber. And it's rubber, and they're called Remuda tire shoes. That's just what they're called, the brand of them. And we've been using them for 15 plus years now. And so normally you'd have a steel shoe with little borium tips on them, and it scars. It almost looks like stretch marks on asphalt is what eventually what it'll start to look like.
Big scratches.
Big, deep gouges after a while. And so it tears up asphalt, tears up concrete. It looks terrible after a while. And so we use the same cemeteries over and over again. And we didn't want to leave damage. And because it would make people not want to use us. I would totally understand that. And so we went to these shoes, and that's what we use. It's good for the horses.
It's like wearing tennis shoes versus a steel shoe.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling them.
I love the analogy.
It really all started from one of our horses that he's passed now, but his legs blew up. We'd done like 5 funerals right in a row, and it's like, spent a lot of miles on the road, and he just couldn't do it. And we put the Remudas on him, and within 3 trips, he was back to being normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, imagine us walking on steel. So it's just like there's a lot of, and these guys are huge. They're massive. And so we, if we walked on steel, it would hurt. It would give you a lot of impact on your joints and stuff. So we went to the Remudas and put those on. And so it's just a win-win. It costs a lot of money, but it's, it keeps our horses healthy, and it keeps our funeral homes and our cemeteries happy. And so it's definitely a win-win. And I don't think anybody in the industry down here is using them.
Give you a small clue: Texas Rangers baseball, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and now Justin Boots. We started pulling them at the Fort Worth Stock Show. That'll give you a clue who we do business with.
Yeah, and we have. And have you talked to any other funeral directors about us? Have you heard about us through other funeral homes?
I have heard of you. I have heard, but they don't the funeral homes around my town, they're not into all these other offerings. So
Absolutely, I understand.
So that's where I was like, let me go do some research, and you guys pulled up the closest ones to our Central Texas area. So I reached out right away.
Okay. Well, if you want to talk, I mean, we're the main people for Golden Gate Funeral Home. We do all their horse stuff, if you know of Golden Gate. You don't know of Golden Gate? It's huge. I think it's like $1 billion funeral home.
Wow.
$1 billion years. It's one of the 3 in the United States. It's $1 billion.
It's huge.
That's what
so John Beckwith is the one who owns that. The Beckwith family owns that.
Just the nicest people you'd ever want to be around.
Yeah, super nice people. There's a guy.
And I bought him a coach. I set him up to buy him a coach, and I supply the horses for him.
He has his own.
He didn't want to put up with the horses because it's really expensive what we do. I mean, it truthfully is, and he just couldn't figure the expense and then try to make money at it. If we kept it, and we were using the same horses to do other gigs, then it worked out good for him. So.
And there's another funeral home in Louisiana called Precious Memories, and we've been doing funerals for them for 15 years probably now, and we actually did 2 last week for him, and he has his own hearse too, but if he's licensed in Louisiana, licensed in Texas as well. So he'll do Texas funerals. So when he comes to Texas, he hires us, and when he's in Louisiana, he uses his own hearse. But he doesn't like his horses, and he can't figure out where to buy our horses. So he told us, he's like, go find me a big team of horses and buy them, and let's work it out. So I mean, he's really about it. So I think that really says a lot about how funeral homes trust us in how we've handled our horses and how we pick our horses, and if they trust us to buy horses for them and they trust us to buy a hearse for them, I think that says a lot.
Wow. Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love horses. I like to ride horses. I don't know what I couldn't tell you the first thing on how to take care of a horse. So you would definitely have my trust. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well,
I want to thank you guys so much. We are about at the meeting ending time. So I do appreciate you guys sharing your story. I loved hearing it. And I certainly do look forward to having materials to share with the families, and hope to see you guys in the near future.
I'll get you some brochures and cards in the mail.
Brochures, cards in the mail, and give you a price line for the Killeen Temple in Belton area, so that you'll have know what you're going to be doing for. And if it's anywhere close to there, we can make arrangements to make it change.
And when are you up and running now, or when do you plan to be up and running?
Probably in 3-4 months time.
Okay.
Here's the other thing. If we can, try to make them to where they're going to break somewhere after noon, so that our transport time to get to you will make us get there. We'll have time to get there and take care of stuff and put everything together for you. So, if you have a 12 or a 1 o'clock funeral and they can come out 1:32, then that makes it good for us. We can make it all happen on a one day stage time. If we have to do something 8 o'clock in the morning, no, it's going to be, we'll have to come the night before to be that close, because all this has to happen all at the same time. Everything's got to get washed and put together before we ever leave. So.
And we try to keep our horses on a feed schedule. We try not to change the feed time too much, and so we try to stay on a regular feed schedule. So that's why we ask that as well.
Well, perfect. So what we can do is iron out set times of services that if we booked you at a 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, these would be best for your services. And we are definitely time management. So we will adhere to whatever you have available to serve the family. So
the only thing
out those details.
The only thing it throws us is the heat. We got to watch that when it gets really, really hot. So, and that's going to be no matter what it is, if that's going to be the case, we'll let that kind of watch the heat, what it's going to do for us.
Okay.
As long as we stay under shade, we're normally pretty good, and we're not going down the street 2 or 3 miles. Usually if it's really hot, we'll say, okay, we can't go down the streets. We'll just meet at a cemetery gate or something like that and just do a transfer there. And so,
is there any special requirements to get the casket up that high into the carriage?
we've never had a problem
What's that?
getting the casket up that high into the carriage.
No.
No. I mean, if it's a really heavy person where you're dealing with an oversized casket, you might need an extra set of pallbearers just to kind of lift up. But I mean, it's really not that, it's not that high. I mean, it's higher than a car hearse for sure, probably about a foot taller than that.
Oh,
And, but it's not as high as what you think it is.
well,
it's
great.
about
I look forward to
chest
seeing
level.
it in person soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like
Yeah.
to the middle of the belly on an average
The
size
only,
person.
the only coach that I don't have, and that's what we've been trying to get, or I'm going to get, is caisson. And the caisson, it's going to be just for military and or police and or firefighters. That's all it'll be for. And that coach that I want to build is going to be, it's going to be at least this high. It's going to be what they call a presidential. It's going to be taller than
It's the
normal.
traditional
Yeah,
caisson.
traditional caisson.
So
But it's going to be, and it'll be open. The coaches you've seen are all glassed in, so
Yeah.
that makes a difference.
Well, we have partnerships with our SBJST insurance company here locally. They do car shows. That might be a great time to, when you have that, to showcase and show our partnership again. We'll definitely invite you and send you some email functions when and how to showcase your coaches.
Cool.
Cool.
I'm very excited. I'm so glad you contacted us. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Well, I do appreciate it. Y'all
Bye. Have a good
wonderful,
evening.
Blessed day.
Yes, you too. Thank you so much.